They're telling us the switch B is unknown switch B is not a code. Okay, let's look at this carefully. Okay, yeah, I made a mistake with the code. Usually, if you want to branch, you want to create a branch, first thing you want to do is git branch and then the branch name. And the second one you want to do is git checkout and then that branch name. So what that does is it creates the branch, that's the git branch, and then the second line of code like takes you into that new branch you just created. It doesn't make sense. If you look at the far left bottom,
Sorry, can you hear me?
there's something written there called main. Okay, go ahead.
Can- Yeah, you said Git branch, the name of the branch, then the hyphen B, right? Or can't you just use like Git checkout to do everything at once?
Okay, cool. I was getting there. Thank you.
Okay.
If you check out, if you check, you see the left bottom, the extreme left bottom, you see something there main. So currently we're on the main branch. So this was the code I ran earlier. That came out, wrong. It didn't run. And the reason is because if I wanted to use the grid branch to create a branch, I would have cleared dash B. What this does is it creates the branch, but will still be in. But then to move into the new branch you just created with Friday admin, we'll have to like do a git checkout then the username. So like two lines of code to do that. So but there's a shorthand and it was a shorthand I was trying to do and I just messed the whole thing. So instead I do a git checkout and put the icon B. And okay, we're going to check out to a branch, but this branch is new. That's what that meant. So those two lines of code, this is like shorthand to do them all at once. So it's telling you switched to a new branch for the admin. Like observe the far bottom here. You see it's for the admin. But if you just want to check out your branch without creating a new one, you just do check out and write the name of that branch. This is main. Switch to main. Observe the far bottom here. So I want us to go back to file as main. A new so we're gonna clear this. So if you check the development server, you see there's nothing changes the changes. But now let's do one little experiment. So now we clearly have two branches, right? We have the main, we have the file admin. And I'm currently in the file admin. So I'm gonna go to 10 minutes this coming out. So I'm gonna go here and put Faraday so we know that this was made in the Faraday admin branch. Let's save that and check. See, it's reflected here, right? Let me give you some time to see. You see it? So now let's go ahead and check out into main. I'm trying to demonstrate that main and this new branch I just created are completely isolated from the self. Now we're back to main. Okay. Switch to the branch main. Oh shoot. I made a mistake because I didn't commit this. It took the entire change and took it to main. So let's, for example, let's go back. Let's go back to Friday admin and let's correct that. And then let's do a git add and we git commit. Changed I to and then let's go and confirm that it's still there. Friday. See here, Friday. So now let's switch back to the other branch. So then, did you see that magically changed? Come back here, it's changed. It's telling you because why you are in the main branch. Do you understand? Or do I need to explain this further? Do I?
Yeah, you explain. Yeah.
Okay. This is the main branch, right? Let's truncate this a little. And in the main branch, the title of this webpage is Open Source Club. Now, if I check out to Friday admin, in case you're wondering how I'm able to like change this line of code on the terminal so fast, I'm just pressing the arrow keys up and down. It just goes through the history of code I've run before. So that's what is happening there. So git checkout Friday admin. So I'm moving to Friday admin. But I want you to pay attention to this title over here. Club. Look at it clearly. Look at it very carefully rather. And then I'm pressing enter right now to run that code. Do you notice any change?
Yeah, yeah, I see now. So you're just like
This is
working on
telling.
like
Yeah,
you're still local, right? Like on still you're still on your local repo,
Yeah,
right?
I'm still local. Exactly.
Okay.
I'm still local, but I have two isolated version of this code stored in different branch. So this is why branch is important. Do you understand? Now let's take this even a little bit further. Hope it doesn't confuse like people who are really new to it and get help. This is the fork repo that we are formatting on our local. Remember, right? So logically with how what I've explained, like what we have done on that place should be reflecting here, right? But it won't. We only have main here as a folder. Sorry, as a branch. But here we have two branches now. We have the Faraday admin and we have the Faraday main. Sorry, and we have the main. I have the main. So now, based on the instruction, let's go back to. Like I've digressed too much. Let's go back to what we were doing. So I'm going to open the contributing the MD file. Well, already there. We're already finished. This is basically the last things. So we've done everything here, and where we are now is to create a branch, and we've done that. Oh, and she even give you like boilerplate code that you can use to do all these actions. So git checkout dash b, then you change this to the branch name that you want to use. In this case, I'm using Friday admin. So this is how you can confirm what branch you are on. Another way you can confirm what branch you are on is by running git status, and it will show you you're on Friday admin. I think git status have a shorthand. Let's see. Oh no, it doesn't. Anyway, let's just clear console so that we understand what's happening. So now we've done this. Next thing they're telling us here is that we need to open the project in the code editor and navigate to the members.js file. The part within this project is open source music. This is our parent folder. And then you go to the source folder and go to the utils folder. That is where you're going to find the members.js. So the following instruction is to read the comment in the top of the file and follow the instruction. Let's do that. And so I'm going to close the terminal. I don't think we need it for a while. So we're going to come over here and follow the instruction. Source to its utils. Okay. And that's the only file there. Members. It's opened. So I'm going to close this. So currently we have, let's read the instruction. To add your name here, please make sure um, you add a comma before adding your details, and also add your details to the end of the last member profile using this format. Okay, so this is the format they're asking us to use, and they're saying we should use a comma before we use it, and we should put it at the bottom of the list. Yeah, everything is just very clear. So I'm going to go over and do just as the instruction says. So for those who are not like probably, I'm sure we have people who are interested in being open source maintainers, being who are public designers or technical writers on this event right now. So that's the reason I will go extra mile to explain some things that might seem like, hey, we already know this. Like, well, it's probably if you're a developer, you already know what I'm going to talk about now. This is an array that contains a list of objects. So for JS, JavaScript, which is what we're working with, we use curly braces. Basically, I think in every programming language, we use curly braces to signify an object, while we use uh, block braces to signify an array, and they're very different. Objects has key and value pair, while arrays is basically just a list. So you just can have girl, boy, five, three, everything separated with a comma. For objects, you need to have something like boy as a key, and the value has to be something like Ogechi or something, right? And then you have something like age, the value has to be something 55. So that is the difference. And these two are very unique and they cannot be used interchangeably. They have their own use case. So I just want you to be aware of it. Removing a comma here will result to an error. Let's see what happens. Okay. So yeah, see. So geez. So one error, just one comma is just painting this screen with errors. So let's undo that. So I'm just trying to show you how important it is to follow the instruction. So make sure you put the comma before you add what you want to add. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that. Enough, talking and more doing. So the name, so I'm going to put, let me just say the, what I'm actually using to run this is the company's uh, placeholder account. I hope they don't query me. Role, let's say tech, tech projects or platform. Okay. GitHub username. Then we need to fetch that username. We know what the GitHub username is for this user. So just want to type it out manually. Already admin. The admin. So we're gonna put here for the bag and what else? So you understand the gist, right? You put the skills here. Now let's save the file and see what happens. Looks like nothing happens. Let's try refreshing the page. Remember, this is not on that source folder, so it does not. We have to start like watching it for changes. So we have to like do a manual refresh. What did you notice? There's a fourth user here, Friday Africa, whose skills is God I beg success, HTML and CSS.
Jesus.
Yeah, look at him going.
Something surprised me here. Oh. After adding my GitHub
It is
and my picture
surprising.
showed.
I'm telling you. Yeah, so that's like all of those things are implementation details. I don't want to go over it because this is not a like like a really technical event. We're focused on Git
Event.
workflow contributing. So the whole
Okay.
project is designed to actually find your profile image and display it here. So let's not go into how that
Okay.
was
No
being
wonder
how that
I was shocked
works.
too.
Please, can you go through it again?
Seriously.
Okay, well, where are you lost, or what is unclear?
I received a call now, so I was logged out. Please, can you just go back
Okay,
to how you
Olumide,
inserted the image
the image.
and the other informations? I was with you when you explained the array.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool, cool. So we didn't do anything there really. We just like followed this instruction and then added the new object. What's the GitHub username, Olumide?
Code with me day.
Okay, so we added a comma to separate the new object from the old one, and then we just go ahead and add your GitHub username here, code with mide. Did I spell that correctly?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so what's your first name,
Olumide
last
Michael.
name, then your role? Are you a 4N developer?
Yes, still a student though.
Yeah, we're all students. 4N developer. Yeah. So you work with React?
Still learning React, but I work with JavaScript.
Yeah, cool, cool. Or do you prefer other frameworks like Vue or
No, React
Nest?
is fine. React
Okay.
is fine. Just leave it.
So, like I said, React is not watching this file because it's not in the SRC folder. So we have to do like a manual refresh. And Olumide is here. Olumide refresh boy. So that's how we did it. There's no magic, right? So very straight to
Okay,
the
okay,
point.
okay, okay.
We designed it so that you don't need any really technical skill to make your own contribution. So I'm going to clear this. So because I want you really to add your own profile by your own self. So I'm going to
Yeah, I've
clear
done
this.
that.
Let's do a manual refresh again. Now you notice like what I was explaining to you that the URL is actually different. Let's go back here and you will observe that even if I do a manual refresh here, nothing is going to change. I think it's in my best interest to like wrap up this meeting really quick because Blue don't dey give me sign like see if my network is gonna be having some issues. Can you hear me? Feels like everything is
Yes,
Yes,
I
we
can
fine.
can.
hear you.
Okay, okay, okay. So
Go ahead, we
that I
can
was
hear you.
saying the project, the live one, no matter how many times you refresh it, it does not have these new changes because this is on your development server. This one is what is on the main project. This is the main project. So let's say I made this new change and this my profile looks so cool and makes this whole page complete and I want it to appear on the main project. Now let's show you how to do that. Before that, should we take another break? I feel I need to take drink water and then let's hear some questions.
All right, all right.
So if
Yeah,
you
no
have
problem, sir.
questions, this is a good time.
If you have questions, you can ask, and I'll keep it. Maybe if it's something that I can attend to, then I'll attend to it. Otherwise, I'll get it ready for him.
I have a question though.
Okay.
This current web page, how was he able to load it? Did he use live server or what did he use?
I I believe you mentioned earlier that we use the live server to load the page. That's one on his development environment, and you don't necessarily need to do anything special. I believe those the code that you load your live server is already on the code base, the one you got from the GitHub repository. So I believe you don't need to do anything. All you have to do is just npm install and npm run. That's it.
Yeah, 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 very correct. So it already works very similar to the live server. It's already inbuilt on the project. So if you just follow the instruction, you have it running. Different projects have different way of like doing that. I shared a fun project yesterday that I forked to make a contribution to. Um, let's have a look at their own readme and see how you can set up their own development server. I'm doing this to show you that you should not assume that it's all going to be set up the same way. Let's take a look at the readme. Now the npm install, okay, we know that. And yeah, the other package manager. So yeah, I somehow forgot to mention that I plan to like forward somehow. But we're working with npm, okay, no biggie. So if you have npm, you don't have to like have yarn. So and then they're using same local host 3000. But to run that is you see you don't see npm start. What you see is npm run dev. So these are the run their own. Right? So, but in our case, is start. And if you're using Yarn, there's anybody using Yarn here, it's going to be a Yarn start. So that's it. So moving forward, I hope that answers the question, does it? Who asked the question of how I was able to upload the page?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question. Good evening.
Good evening, Joy.
I wanted to ask, like, is it compulsory to like fork a repository? Can't you like clone it from the main um project without forking it to your own repository?
Very good question. I think I covered that at the beginning. The reason why you need to fork a repo is especially when you're not given privilege to edit or make modifications to that particular repo is because you want to make modification to that repo. Let me show you. This is how. So let me go to the original repo. I want to pay attention to some key difference. Now, let's open up the same repo here on this solar browser. So these are two different users. User is logged in on different browser window. Okay, let's look at the other one again. All right, good. So notice here there's four branches, and here there is okay, four branches. So we're on the same repo, right? The owner is home against sleep. Let's open branches now. Let me just show you some of the restrictions. There's no way here that you're going to see a create branch folder. So a create branch call to action, a button. But here, there is a button. This is because this particular user have the privilege to modify this what is it called project. But this user that I'm acting as does not. And this user wants to contribute. There you go. Let me show you let me show you more about like not being able to edit stuff. Um, for example, if there's a PR, okay, let me see something. So this is an issue. I know I've not talked about issue, but I just want to demonstrate some limitations. As a visitor, you can create new issues. or you cannot close any. Well, as the owner of the project, you have the ability to close issues. Let's open this issue. And there's C, close issue, but it's not here. So I'm using this to demonstrate that there's limitations to what you can do. And well, if you go over to the forked version of that particular repo, you see, let me show you the branches. Okay, you see, there's no issues there, for example. Well, let's go to branches, and you see that you can create no branch. This is just to show you that there's permission like limitations. Okay, somebody didn't receive email. Okay. Um, so is that what I'm trying to say is the reason why we need to fork this repo is to be able to edit it. Normally, before you can edit a repository, the owner of that repo needs to invite you and give you permission to edit it. Naturally, even though the project is public, you don't have permissions to edit or affect that code. But to do so, you have to like create a fork repo. You have to fork that repo. So if I had gone ahead to like clone directly from that original repo, I would not be able to push to that repo until the owner of that project asks me as a contributor, like give me permission to contribute to that repo. And that's a major limitation. But if you're able to fork that repo, if you're able to fork the repo, then you have full privilege to do whatever you like. And then when you're ready, you create a PR and you compare your change or your version of that same code to the version of the owner. Is that complicated?
No, I understood what you said. My second question is how can you add like push a readme to your organization you're contributing to after like writing a code?
Okay,
And
okay.
secondly, recently I've been seeing something like
Please,
code
let me answer. Sorry,
written.
sorry for cutting you. Let me answer this question first.
Okay.
Like I forget easily, especially when I'm tired, and I'm really tired right now. So let me answer this, then you answer the next, ask the next one, so I don't get it. So look at this. The question is, how do you make a push, right? Number
Yes,
one,
like
we're
when you're
getting
adding a
there.
readme to a readme file.
Yeah, yeah. Number one, we're gonna get there. Number two, look at this. Where's our live server? This is our live server. We've made a change, and this is the main production server. Our change did not show here. So how do we make it show here? This, this is a very similar question to what you asked. So for example, let's say what I did was not to add this, but instead to change the zip file. You still need to follow the same process to like make it reflective on the production. And how to do that is to push it, and that is the last step, and that's what we're getting into. So is there another question? I'm going to show you step by step. I'm going to skip stuff.
Okay.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Okay, who's asking?
Okay, my question, you said something about pull request, like how when the owner wants to merge your changes on the original, the main server. I don't know whether you got my question.
Yeah. So you're asking me how do you do a pull request, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that. That's what I get into. I don't want to skip steps. So, Joy, what's your other second question that you had?
Okay, the second question I wanted to ask was like when you're writing a code and let's say you encounter a problem, then you went to Stack Overflow to like get help or maybe get code. So if you're contributing to open source, are you supposed to cite it in the code that you got that particular solutions from Stack Overflow?
Hmm. Uh, I'm not sure that's necessary unless you took like a very big part of the code from some other project. For example, um, I saw one time there's a case on Twitter where a guy got fired because the company blamed and accused him of like copying code from a different company. And even if he credited them, it's still a problem actually at that point. But Stack Overflow, I'm not sure it's a problem if you don't credit them. Because most of the solution you see on Stack Overflow is a common solution. There's nothing special to it. And most of the time, if you don't just copy and paste, you understand how it's solved, and the solution to yours is mostly always different based on my experience. But you sometimes learn something from people's code that could you could import and modify your code, to solve the problem that you might be having. So, but generally, most solutions in Stack Overflow are common solutions. Like you could ask, how do I find an object in an array? There is nobody patenting that solution, so why do you need to give credit? It's a common solution, and more often there's at least 5 ways to do it. And so it makes no sense to want to give credit. So it's not necessary. I don't think if it's Stack Overflow, it's not necessary. But if it is a unique solution, like and it belongs to a company or an organization, then I think you should give credit. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that answers the question.
yeah, I guess the summary of my answer is I do not know. I believe it is right that when you use someone's work, you credit the person. But it doesn't make sense that um, every single thing you read online to learn that particular how to solve that solution, you want to credit everybody. I don't think that's cool. Yeah. So I'll learn. So I hope to learn more on these topics in the future. But right now, I don't know much about this.
Oh,
But we're free to
can
continue.
I
Okay.
add something?
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So most solutions we get from Stack Overflow are usually how to use a particular programming language like JavaScript. Okay, if you want to, if you are stuck on an issue and you don't know how to use JavaScript to do a particular thing, maybe to loop an array or to find a particular item in an array on JavaScript, most of the solutions we find on Stack Overflow shows you how to do that. Okay, doesn't mean that it's a patented solution. It's just a pointer to how to use JavaScript. And JavaScript is open source and is free to use. So when you get that solution, usually it doesn't go straight to the point of solving your own problem. You just you usually have to tweak it, change one or two things to adapt it to your own solution. Okay, so in that case, you don't really need to uh, credit anything to anybody. But when you talk about a unique solution, maybe you need a way to a library or something to help you build something on your own code. Okay, maybe a library, someone has solved a problem using his own code, built something using his own initiative, and maybe he has not made it open source, and maybe he has a license a license on that code. If you want to use that code, you usually have to go through the licensing. It requires that you give credit to the person, then you give credit to the person. Okay. At this point, everything depends on the licensing on that library. Okay. So if the licensing says that you do a specific thing, you have to follow the licensing of that code. Otherwise, yeah, you might be found wanting. I hope that adds to the.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Also, I think giving credit is also an act of courtesy, right? My personal portfolio, I'm a foreign developer, and my personal portfolio, I saw a friend's design and I just loved it. So I didn't need to like design from scratch. So I used his own design as like a um, reference, right? To build mine. And at the bottom of my portfolio, I wrote design based on, and I placed a link to the guy's own portfolio. He didn't ask me to do that. He never told me, or I never found anywhere that only patented this portfolio. But I just want to do that as out of courtesy. So, yeah. So, enough about um, giving credit. Let's move over to our business. We have about 9 minutes to wrap it all up because this workshop was meant for 2 hours. Okay. So far, hey, so far, we've forked the repo, cloned that forked repo, run that code on our development server, and made our change. Now we want the owner of this code or the maintainers to be aware of these new changes we've made. How do we do that? First, we
Kingsley,
need
we are
our
not
forked
seeing your
repo.
screen. Oh.
Okay, okay. First, we need our forked repo to be aware of that changes. Can you see my screen now? Okay, I think my screen is appearing. Can you see it? Please, I need verbal confirmation.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now, what we need to do is at least make our remote be aware of these changes. We have a 2-year-old in the house. He's just terrorizing everybody. Yeah. I'm going to our floor, banging this door, so I apologize. So we need our remote, and our remote is the forked version of that repo. We need you to be aware of this change that I've made. So how do we do so? So remember the illustration uh, we shared at the beginning of this workshop about how to keep the local and the remote in sync. We're basically going to do that. Let me just present that again just to refresh our memory so that whatever I'm going to be doing here won't be like new. Okay. Can you see the screen? Okay, so we've made some changes, but this is what this is. Git doesn't see those changes. So we need to use git add to let Git know that something has been added here. So this state where you've made modifications, but Git is not aware of it, this is called the modified stage. So, and that's where we are right now. We want to move to the staging stage or the staging area, which is by running git add. So it's aware of what we're doing. Git add, and we're going to use a full stop. Now, what that full stop mean is it's on its own. Git is going to watch the entire code base and find things that were changed and then add it. Now, to confirm what was added, we're going to do git status. And it's telling you, oh, what was modified is utils/member.js. Do you understand? I was following.
Yes, sir, we are following.
Okay, cool. So what we have done here is basically this. So now Git knows, hey, something has been notified. Next is a Git commit. So we're telling Git that, okay, here, we're done here. Just wrap this up. Soon we're going to send it to the remote. So we're going to do the same thing. Git commit. And before I run Git commit, I recognize that we made a change on app.js that we didn't need to. So I'm going to change it back and do a Git add. Let me save it first. Okay, before I do a Git add, I want us to observe something. Git status. So what Git is telling you, this is highlighted as red because Git is telling you, hey, there was a change in app.js, but you know what? I'm blind. I can't see it. I'm blind in my left eye. I'm 50% blind on my right eye. Does this make my file understand? Okay, so it knows somehow it knows there's a change, but it's pretending not to know. So we have to add that. So this new change that is app.js highlighted in red. We need to add it. So we're going to do git add. And I use the apostrophe, I use the period, so it goes and fetch everything. I could just easily, put in app.js there and add saying that that is file. Well, I just, period, for lazy folks out there like me. So now if I do a git status, you see that now is now aware that okay, um, app.js is here. So now I want him to put these two files and package it and take it to the remote. So we're going to do a git commit message. And okay, you know what? Let's not complicate things. Before I show you the shorthand, let's show you how it's been done normally. So the next thing is git commit, just as shown here, right? Git commit. What happens? Let's see what happens when you run git commit. So it's telling you waiting for your editor to close the file. Git commit automatically opens this file. This file is hidden in, okay, if you remember, that's why it's important that we had yesterday's session before today's session. Yesterday, our facilitator explained to us initializing a repo is. It says when you initialize the repo, there's a hidden Git folder created on that your folder that makes it automatically a repository. So that is where this is coming from. So we're gonna it's hidden. So even if I close this, you can't find it anywhere on that file unless you review hidden folders. So we're gonna go ahead and add our commit message here. So please enter a commit message for your changes. So and what is committing is this. So what opened here is basically your package. This is the box. Everything added is showing you that, oh, this is things we added is inside this box. Now we need to put a label on this box so we can deliver it. So I'm going to put in add Faraday admin profile. So I'm saying add, then this is the username of the person and then profile. So your commit needs to be short, but yet descriptive, right? So in this commit message, you understand that I have added a new profile and then the profile belongs to the admin. So, and I'm going to save this and then I'm going to close it. And it's telling you now, okay, cool. I've packaged it. Here's your delivery. Two has changed, 8 insertions and 2 deletion. If you didn't want to go to this, looks like a two-level process. If you want to commit without having to go through this two-level process, what you do is git commit, you put -m and open a semicolon. Sorry, open a quote and put, it can be single quote or double quote. I think it's for sure. Then you put your message, add profile, whatever, and then you press enter, and it just runs these two steps I just showed you. This one line of code does it. So most of the time, this is what you see people doing, and most of the time, this is what I do. I just want you to understand what was going on. So we don't need to commit again. We already have the package. It makes no sense putting a package inside the package. So we already have the package. We have added the label. Now we need to like deliver it. And to do that, you use git push. So, but because this is a branch that does not exist in the remote, you need to specify it as an upstream and origin. Put the name of the branch, which is Faraday admin. Alpha. Are we still here?
Yes, we
Hope
are.
I did not confuse any of us.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. But I not
Sorry, I
really
can't hear you.
saw what you did. I not really saw what you did before. Git commit, the shortcut. I not really see.
Okay, is there on the contributing the MD? I think. Let's check it out. I just wanted you to be aware of what's happening. That's why I went through like that whole process. Contributing the MD. Let's see where we are at the to-do list. So we did the git add. So this is the shorthand. Yeah, beautiful. Just put in git commit, then dash m, insert the short blah blah blah. Put the message here in that code. And it should go. And this is where we are right now. We're trying to push. Hmm? So that's what I've written here. Git push dash u origin Friday admin. Are you clear?
Sometimes I just say git push origin upstream. Can you explain on that?
Upstream. Uh, you know, funny enough, I've not like gone to check that out. But I've always used it. Let's see what happens without the option, specifying option. Good question, Joy. So I just hit enter on my keyboard and it's telling you it is rejected. Fail to push some rights to blah 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 blah. But if you specify upstream, it should work. Now I've always assumed that okay, hold up. Something is wrong here somewhere. Give me a minute to see what's happening. Okay. Hey, Git want to embarrass me. I seriously have no idea what's going on here. Let me clear this and try that code again. Issue urgent. Remote rejected. Friday admin. Permission denied. Let's see what's happening. Oh my god. Okay. I understand what is happening. So if you run this code, it should work for you. Have any of you done this? Give
Yeah,
me a
I've done
20
Yes,
or
mine.
I've
or
done it and it's
did it work?
successful.
It
Yes,
went
yes.
through.
No, it
Now the
worked.
reason is because yeah, it's gonna work. the reason is because I already configured this system globally to recognize me as this user, which is here. This user that is the main owner of the project. So it's like
Okay.
Kingsley pushing to Faraday admin's repository. You don't have the permission. And this is what's going to happen if you try to push to this particular original README, sorry, original repo without having to fork it. Do you understand?
Yes, we do.
Do
Yes,
we
we
understand?
understand, sir.
Yeah. So if you can,
Yes.
I know we've exceeded our time. Let me see if I can somehow reconfigure the GitHub account on my local to find the admin. That'll be challenging because I don't have access to like the email of that account. So they'll want to confirm, and I'm not even sure if I set up the two factor. So that's going to be complicated. This is something I like to do on my own time. But the thing is, you already understand the gist. Once you do a git push dash u origin Faraday admin, which Faraday admin here represents the name of that branch, you should take this branch and make a copy of it on the remote. And then after it has done that, so I'm just going to go over to the remote and hold up. So I'm just going to I'm going to add that change directly into remember the JS straight from the browser without having to pull it. So I can show you the next steps. Right now, what is stopping me from pushing from the local is the permission because I'm currently, like I explained earlier, I understand. All right, so let me just find that file. So, and okay, it's used, and then this is it. There's this new feature that GitHub actually released I think a month or 2 months ago called the GitHub.dev. Let me show you what it does. It's basically a VS Code on your browser. So with this, we'll be able to surpass the permission problems that we're getting from the local. Excuse me. This might take a while. Oh, damn. Okay. Let's give it a minute. So this is basically VS Code but on the web. Okay. Okay, this is strange. Let's open it up properly. I don't want to close this tab. So somehow it's not finding the repositories. So I'm going to open it directly without redirecting to a new tab. I think when I redirected to a new tab, it couldn't find the URL. Is it bug? I'll report it to GitHub. Let's see if they can fix that. And that's part of open source. You can just like identify problems with projects and raise an issue. That way you have made a contribution. So like still strengthening my point I raised earlier that you don't really have to be a developer to be a contributor to open source. Let's give it a wow. Okay, while this is loading, Um, if you have questions, please ask. Or if you have something to talk about, like it's contribution related to topic, let's talk about it.
I have a question.
Okay.
Can you share your story how you landed your first developer job?
Okay. First of all, what make you think I have a job?
Well, for you to be anchoring this program, this open source program, I feel you be organ
Yeah.
now boss you be.
Okay.
Apart from that one, him been done the work on projects where in the share screen now. So that one alone self don't
I
show say na
know
guy.
even his GitHub profile says a lot.
There you go. I
Exactly.
define OJ 2K like this. But jokes apart, I haven't like officially gotten a job. But I'm currently working with this startup, and the project is all experimental, and that was what you were able to see earlier. But the thing that makes it hard to break into tech is um, people don't want to take a chance. Recruiters don't want to take a chance. They want to make sure that you know what you're doing, right? And the only way you can show them that is show them what you have done, right? So that employing you to come and like probably help them do the web app, then you should show them the web app you have done. But the problem about that system is that how do you how do you gain experience without having to actually get a job? Like to get a job, you need experience. Clearly, to get experience, you need a job. So there's like a paradox there, right? This is one of the things makes me see open source as a very great opportunity. It's like you're working for free. Although I need to like what's the word now? Uh, source. There are people working full like on open source project and they are being paid for it. Okay, so there are programs out there that hire interns to contribute to open source and they pay them for it. It's crazy. So, but I guess what I'm driving to is um, I don't, based on your question, I don't have a job currently, but I can feel it that no distant time from now I should be able to get a job. And the reason why I feel that is because I've started taking on projects. So I'm basically urging you that if you want to like get into tech, like like basically get your first job, you should not wait to get a job for the experience. You should start building that experience right now. Collaborate, build projects, and don't just build projects that keep them. But one of my biggest mistakes, do projects, document it, have a portfolio, keep your track record. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. Or if I definitely didn't answer your question, but I hope I cleared some things.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay, no problem. Do you have you filled the form? Ken, can you share the feedback form? There's a link there to like put in your number if you want to join our community. I'll reach out to you from there. I'm not sure why this is taking all this time. What is happening? You know what? The other alternative, we don't need GitHub.dev to run that. Probably there's a problem. There's a new feature. There's there's possibility that there's still bugs in it. I used it about a week or 2 weeks ago and it was pretty fine. So I'm just going to do the old-fashioned um, MD correction. Okay, we can no problem. I will reach out to you and share my number to you. Is it network? I think I beg you, I beg. We we need to wrap this up real quick. We've exceeded our time. Okay, it's connection problems, network problems. Uh, this moment, I am having some network challenge. Can you even still hear me?